Welcome everybody to By the Pool. Today we're going to interview a YouTube channel known as Skateboarding Progression at 40 plus. It's been on YouTube for about 4 or 5 months. Got a little bit of a following, but all good people. And I've watched many other channels myself. And there's just a great community out there of older guys and girls really getting out there, learning to skate. And we think that's awesome here at By the Pool. So we wanted to get to know at Skateboarding Progression at 40 plus a little bit more because when posting videos we don't have a channel trailer, so that's kind of crazy. So we're going to fix that and we're going to get to know them. Got some handy dandy note cards here with some questions, and we're going to get going. Alright, so what's your name, how old are you, and married, kids, job, and where are you from? Thanks for having me. So my name's Tony, 41 years of age. I grew up in San Diego, California, then moved out of there in 1996 at 19. Currently live in North Carolina with my wife and 2 grown kids, and I do have a job, so that's always cool. I am been a soldier 22 years, most of that time as a paratrooper, and still have the pleasure to serve, and I do appreciate that after 22 years. Yeah, San Diego's an awesome place, but North Carolina's a big change from that. Alright, so quick couple warm-up questions. So what's your favorite color? Blue. Favorite band? Rancid. Favorite rapper? Ice Cube. A little bit of a West Coast guy sitting in North Carolina. Crazy. Alright. So warm-up questions are done. Let's talk about your skateboard story. When did you initially start skating? So, you know, you grew up in San Diego. It's not that you decide you're going to start skating. I mean, it was the 80s, and everybody had a skateboard. It was probably, 1982, Mom, got us the Nash board, and then, I don't know if you guys remember that. It's like a little skinny, almost looked like a penny board, but it's wood, and then the grip tape, the word Nash was carved out of it. Anyway, and then, you progressed to the Kmart board, which was, kamikaze, the Japanese sunrise scene on it. Everyone thought that was cool, man. You had that, and then, you just pushed around the neighborhood. A lot of hills in San Diego, so a lot of downhill. Just go fast and just travel to your friend's house, and maybe build a launch ramp or something. Eventually we got better boards. Started getting first pro models. Sims and GNS and Vision. Just PAL, the big one. Got those boards and we just skated. I don't think we consider ourselves skaters. I think everyone just kind of skated. It was part of the culture. It was who we were as a collective group. I mean, all walks of life. I mean, we all skated. We all hung out together. And it was just everyday business. All right, so why'd you stop? Yeah, so why did I stop skating? I think that's a good question, right? So I think a lot of things kind of came to a head at the same time. I was getting older. And I say older, wasn't a lot older, but you go through, your priorities change, and kind of the moment for me when I realized that probably was not going to skate was I had a really nice board, and I had this board. It's a 1989 Tony Hawk PAL claw board, and I loved it. I thought it was the most awesome board in the world. I mean, Tony Hawk was top of his game. This was a sick design, and family and myself, came together and spent a lot of money on it, and I was pretty pumped. And then I didn't destroy it. I lost it, and just kind of I don't know, kind of a little bit of joy was taken, and at the same time, you know, end of middle school, you know, the 8th grade year, you know, sports became more important to me, and at that time it wasn't really culturally accepted to be a skateboarder and an athlete. You know, now it is, and I think that's awesome. It was not so much back then, and skating was changing at the same time too. You know, the boards were getting, you know, skinnier, the wheels were getting smaller, the pants were getting baggier, and skaters were, that's when they became, you know, skaters. You know, they were no kidding skateboarders. That's what they did every minute of their life. You know, rails and giant stairs, and I just didn't fit into that group anymore. So I stepped away. You know, I always had a board for transportation or whatever, but I never tried to progress and learn tricks. You know, it was mostly to, you know, just get to the girlfriend's house and back, or whatever it was. But yeah, that's why I stopped. All right, so obviously you're skating again. So what brought you back into it? So yeah, I started skating again 2006. Came back from what I think was my 4th combat tour. Kind of realized I needed a hobby. Everything at that point, like, I was really doing a lot of work and family. I really didn't have anything for myself. And I went driving around, just cruising one day, and I went to the local skate shop. They had a little skate park inside there. I was just kind of watching. And I was looking around the shop, and I saw this old, you know, paddle board, skull and sword, and I was like, man, I gotta get that. So I bought that, and, you know, they said I could skate in the park for the day, so I just kind of kept skating. And then I wasn't doing anything awesome, you know, just work on ollies, square one, work on some manuals, learn to drop in, and just kind of cruise. And, you know, that was pretty consistent till early 2007 when I deployed back to Afghanistan. I don't know if you saw the video with Mike on my channel, Veteran Story. We met Mike there. You know, we skated some weird spots. You know, we weren't at a big base. We're in the middle of nowhere, Afghanistan, and we made some time skate. And then the people that mattered were okay with it, and the people that some people weren't okay with it, but we did it anyway. And a couple other guys had their boards. I mean, we were in the middle of nowhere, so it's crazy. Yeah. And built a little skate crew out there. And then when I came back from Afghanistan, moved out to California for 2 years, had a pretty busy job, you know, skated when I could, but, you know, no real progression, just kind of cruising. And that kind of continued, you know. Jobs got busier, life got busier, and skating kind of went away again, but I didn't quit, I just didn't have time. Yeah, I get that, you know, life totally gets in the way sometimes, but you're right, you know, you gotta make time for what's important, you know, to you as an individual. Not to say the other stuff's not important, just you have to have something for yourself. And I think that's an important message or undertone of the videos that you do make. All right, so obviously there was a comeback, you know, after life got in the way. So let's talk about what brought you back to where we are now. So yeah, so obviously skating now. Didn't really put any effort into skateboarding, and then I went to El Paso for a year by myself, left the family here, and while I was out there, you know, I had a little cruiser board, because, you know, from San Diego, you know, you always have a board no matter what. So one day I got, you know, bored, and I found a local indoor skate park. So I went there and cruised around a little bit. Really couldn't do nothing, but still had fun. And the guy told me where an outdoor park was. So I went to that, and it was huge. It was El Paso Regional Park, super massive. Loved every minute of it. And again, just cruise around, trying to learn how to ollie. You know, like every day for a month, I'm learning how to ollie. But every day, someone's telling me about a new skate park. So I just kind of ended up on a skate park scavenger hunt throughout El Paso, finding these different parks, and it's just a really good time. And one day I look at my watch, little Fitbit, and it says 800 calories an hour. I was like, wow, you know, 800 calories an hour for learning how to ollie, or just doing nothing but ollies for that amount of time. I was like, that's awesome. So I think I'll just keep doing that. You know, that's way better than running 4 miles. So, yeah, just kind of kept going, and here I am now. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story, you know. making that time, getting after it. So it's pretty cool. So as you got back into it, like, who were your influences? Are the guys you watched in the 80s? Is it the guys you learned about in 2006, era 7, 8 time period, or is it the current skaters of today? So my influences aren't much different than they were. I mean, it's all the originals from the Bones Brigade. It's still Hawk, it's still Cab, it's still Mike Vallely, it's still Mullen. Like, those guys are always going to be my influences, and a lot of them are still skating. I mean, they're living legends. And then you have the people I learned about in 2006 and 7, 8, which is, you learn about the costumes, and you go back and you look at the deer deck stuff you missed when you were skating. Chris Cole, the entire Almost team, Pudwell, I love, all that. And then the guys today, I mean, a lot of it's on YouTube. Yeah, you got the pros out there, crushing it. But, P-Rod, nobody's going to be better than P-Rod, right? And then you also got this YouTube, Instagram community where a lot of the best skateboarding's at. And really enjoy that. I think Vin Vaughn is just an amazing skater, and I really enjoy him. So, yeah, I guess all three, I guess. Yeah. Vin Vaughn, awesome. Totally agree. All right. So, someone that's interested in getting into skating now, or interested in the history of skateboarding, like, what are some recommendations? Like, kind of a skateboard nerd, self-proclaimed. Like, what books or videos? Most kids are going to watch videos, or most adults might want to read a book. What are some of your recommendations for them? Yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, absolutely. Give some recommendations on some books. So, if I was going to start off, I would say read Tony Hawk's Occupation Skateboarding. He just talks about his growing up and his journey through skateboarding and transitioning from park contests and bowls to building ramps in vert, and at the same time becoming, the most recognizable skateboarder in the entire world. I mean, no one has done more for skateboarding as a whole, globally, than Tony Hawk. So definitely read Occupation Skateboarding. Get better insight behind the Birdman. And then there's Rodney Mullen's The Mutt, How to Skateboard and Not Kill Yourself. This is an amazing book. Talks about his journey growing up and the conflict with his dad about skateboarding and what skateboarding meant to him, and what it meant to when he couldn't skateboard, and the struggles he went through. And it also talks a little bit about the rise and fall of world industries. Like, one of my favorite parts in this book, he's talking about, he gets signed to Plan B later in life, and they want him to do a street part, and he doesn't know how to street skate because he's always done freestyle. So even though all these street skaters are doing every trick that he invented or a variation of it, he has to go learn how to street skate to film this part. And just really awesome. And then for the nerds, if you've ever called yourself a skateboard nerd ever, definitely read this, Skateboard Space, the City, Architecture and the Body. Long title, but this is not written by a skateboarder, it's written by an architect. And it talks about, from the architect's perspective, how they love the fact that skateboarders can take something that they built and use it in a whole new way, reinvent its purpose. And it's a really awesome book. There's videos on that on YouTube as well, but I definitely recommend that book if you've ever called yourself a skateboard nerd. And then for the videos, I mean, I think you just go historically down a timeline, right? So you got Dogtown Z Boyz, you gotta watch that one. I mean, that is the start of it, from taking it from the surf to the street, and the progression of the skateboard wheel to polyurethane, how that changed skateboarding. And then, bull riding started, air started. I mean, they took skateboarding and just this casual thing and progressed into a competitive, sport. And I don't think anybody likes to call it sport, but they did it, and it was awesome. And then from there you go to the 80s. You got to go to the Bones Brigade. these were the first videos to come out with like stories behind them. You know, cheesy as they were awesome. You know, propaganda, public domain, feature primitive, video show, and of course, search for Animal Chin. I mean, that's when I grew up. That's what you wanted to be. You want to be Bones Brigade. I mean, that skate fast, travel, have fun in the streets, and just have a good time with friends. Then after that, you have the '90s, which is The Man Who Sold the World, and this movie like fills in the gap at the time I wasn't skating. It talks about the rise and fall of world industries. Excuse me. How Steve Rocco and Rodney Mullen, built World Industries and first skater-owned company, skateboard company, and then how they built a bunch of small companies who in turn did the same thing to them that they did to the Big Five as they took them out. Super interesting story. And then 2006, 7, 8, somewhere in there, I got the Lakai fully flared video, and it's just production value. Probably one of the best videos I've ever seen for skateboarding. Super awesome. It really motivated me when I got back into skating to stay at it. And then there's honorable mentions, of course, Almost, Round 3, Rodney Mullen, Daewoo, awesome. The DC movie, Danny Wade and Rob Dyrdek when they were younger. And then, Cheese and Crackers, just the craziest mini ramp video you'll ever see in your life. So definitely watch those videos. Oh, those are all solid recommendations. I mean, skateboarding, Space City, and Body, whatever you said, that sounds amazing. A book written by an architect about skateboarding, that's pretty cool. And couldn't agree more with the movies. The only thing I would add, only because I know you, is Mike Vallei's Drive series. Totally worth watching. Check that out. It's kind of like the savior of skateboarding, traveling around and sharing the good word of skateboarding. So I would just add that to your list as well. All right. So what do you ride? I mean, what type of board setups you got? What do you like to ride? Let's talk about that a little bit. So what do I ride? I ride Powell flight decks most of the time. This is the 825 with this has got crutch trucks on it, Bones wheels, and FKD Swiss bearings. Really like the flight decks. Full circle back to Powell. From my childhood, they're making technology with the carbon fiber on them. Really like it. Even got another one. This is my new one. Taking this on a trip with me. Again, 825, new flight deck, carbon fiber. And then in the bowl, I really like the Welcome. I like the Welcome board. This is a 10-inch Chris Miller. It's just amazing shape. There's nothing I don't like about the shape of this board. I was skating the Tony Hawk board, but it was too flat on top and it's hard to push against the walls. This is a 10-inch, 64 millimeter G Bones from the 80s. Some Bone Swiss bearings. Just love that board. And I always have a Revive board usually set up, or as my extra board in case something goes down. But I always like to have two full setups at all times if possible. So that's awesome. I mean, it's kind of like full circle, right? You end with Powell in the 80s, and then you come back, and now you're running like the newest Powells that are out, the flight deck and the flight technology, and then also transition to where most skateboarding is now with the internet and YouTube and Instagram and all that, and supporting the guys down at Revive in the shred quarters. It's pretty awesome. It shows that you're not stuck in your ways and you're willing to learn and progress as you will with the culture, and that's pretty awesome. All right. So speaking of YouTube and stuff, like, why did you choose to put your process or your journey onto YouTube? Why YouTube? So like I said, as skating out in El Paso and got my ollies, got my 50/50s, and I wanted to record a video just to track my progress, learn from it, and then I wanted to send it to my wife and kids, because they're out here in North Carolina, and it was just too big to send, so I put it on YouTube, so you know they could see it. And I didn't make it private or nothing. I didn't know nothing about YouTube. And through that, you know, some people watched the videos, some people commented, and I thought that was pretty cool. Started finding through that, through their comments and likes and whatever, I was able to find a whole bunch of other skateboarders, older skateboarders like me, or not older, younger, that are learning to skateboard. And I was like, man, that's super awesome, man. I want to follow these guys, and you know, that made me want to make better videos and progress more. And so just kind of accidentally started. It wasn't a conscious thought. It was more of like a little skate community. You know, all of a sudden I had like a little skate group, because most time when you're older, you know, you're skating alone. It kind of brought a sense of community back to it. So I really liked it. All right. So what can we look forward to in future videos? Yeah. So. Going to move to another country for a year, so I'm going to make some skate travel vlogs during that time. That's coming up in August, and hopefully I continue to progress, so I have my normal progression videos, and I'm going to do some reviews, you know, like simple things. I've always skated like Vans, but this time I got some New Balance. This is the Pro Core 213, I think is what it's called. It's got some extra protection up here, big toe cap. It's a canvas shoe, so it should breathe well, but it's also got some suede here in the kickflip area along the end, and then it's got a pretty solid, sturdy heel. It's not a cup sole shoe, but it feels sturdy, and I think it's going to meet my needs. So I'm gonna try that out and give a review. It'll be the first time I've skated a non-core brand skate shoe, but I'm definitely looking forward to giving them a go. And to go along with the new flight deck, I got these 147 Thunders. I've never skated Thunders. I've tried Crooks, I've tried Royals, Indy, which I like Indy in the bowl, but not on the street. And yeah, so I'm gonna try these Thunders out. They're hollow, and they got a little BMW design on them. I think it's gonna be good. We'll give those a review. I don't know if my skill is good enough to review trucks, but we're gonna see. And then I watched a video that made me realize I was probably wearing old man pants, so I got some 874 Flex Dickies. I'm gonna give those a go and do a little review on those. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming up. It sounds great, man. You know, a couple product reviews. Continue your skate journey and traveling, you know, to another country for a year. That's gonna be pretty cool, man. Definitely gonna stay tuned myself and keep watching. So, what are the goals for the channel? Channel goals? I don't have any channel goals. Like, I'm just amazed that anybody watches. I appreciate every single person that watches. You know, if I can continue to get better at skateboarding, and that shows people that if you stick with it, you can get better. Or if it shows people that you know, he's not very good, but at least he's having a good time. It shows people to go make time for themselves and things they enjoy, go learn something new, or go back to doing something they no longer do because they didn't make time. I mean, if I can do those things, like, that's the goal. Like, I like the views, and I like the comments, like the interaction. I mean, subscribers are cool, but if they're not watching and they're not engaged, I mean, what's the point of subscribing? So just really appreciate every single person that watches the videos, and if you're gonna give me some of your time to watch a video, then I'm gonna try and make the best video I can with my limited skateboard skills, my limited camera skills, and my limited editing skills. That's the goal. That's good, man. You know, just, you gotta do it for you. And if you're making videos for other people, like, it's awesome if it touches them, and it's awesome if they get after it, but if you're making the videos you want to make, and it's important to you, and you enjoy that creative process, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man. See, the right people will find your channel. It's not about the number of people, it's about the right people. And when the right people find you, I mean, that's what matters. All right, so before we close this out, any final thoughts? It's like I said, you know, make time for yourself. Don't forget about you. You have to be healthy so you can take care of everybody else. And part of being healthy is having a hobby and making time for yourself, being mentally healthy and physically healthy, so you can be better at the things you have to be better at. You know, it's not that serious. You know, there's no rules in skateboarding, there's no rules in art. There are rules in maintenance and mechanics. There's some fun problem solving there. That's what frees your mind. But do something you enjoy, and don't take it so seriously. You know, at the same time, you know, enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the learning. Don't be so quick to want to be the next Tony Hawk. Just go be the next you. That'll be awesome. Appreciate you all watching, and stop watching. Go do something awesome. All right, so that does it for an episode of, probably the only episode ever, of By the Pool, with at Skateboarding Progression at 40 plus. It's pretty awesome. We appreciate his time, and continue to support him, watch the videos. I know he appreciates it, and see you next time. Not that there's going to be a next time, not of this, but next time on his channel. All right. Oh, and if you noticed, you know, during a lot of this video, there was some mini ramp clips down below. He had never skated a mini ramp before, and that was his little progression video of one day on a mini ramp out there in Raleigh, North Carolina. So check that out. Not that it's going to be a separate video, but you can go back and rewatch this one, and you can see some of the mini ramp progression. All right. We'll catch you later, and as he says, go do something awesome.